All right, so the golden era of tech is over by Pooja Doot. Gonna hit refresh. Gonna get a little ad.
A few years ago, knowing
No.
basic Python could land you 3 job offers. Look, I got this job offer from Amazon. How? All you wrote was this.
Yo, my
Yeah,
computer is
I know,
so
right?
busted.
350K total compensation. But now, most people
Fuck. Gonna quit voicemail because I don't even use the soundboard. I think that's gonna help a little bit. All right, let's go. The golden era of tech is over.
A few years ago, knowing basic Python could land you 3 job offers. Look, I got this job offer from Amazon. How? All you wrote was this. Yeah, I know.
That is so crazy. It used to be so. This used to be like the equivalent of the cybersecurity dream, right? You would get a job at one of the FANG companies. You would get like 120 starting entry level job, 250,000 a year with just moderate experience. But these times are gone.
Right? 350K total compensation. But now, most people can't even get one interview.
So I've been actively looking for a job.
There's no jobs.
It's been really difficult.
We were told that learning to code was the way to make it. It was a way to get insane compensation packages, and then, almost overnight, it all changed. So what happened? Is the golden era of tech officially over? Well, that, my friends, is a complicated question. The answer is yes and no. Yes, it's harder to break into the industry as a junior engineer. You're not just
Oh yeah, so that's the point. But as a whole, I don't think it's over per se because I mean there might be some progress to be made still with AI. So well, I don't know. We saw yesterday there's a big crash right now, so who knows?
competing with other junior engineers, but way more experienced engineers that know a lot more than you do. They have a lot more experience, contacts, connections, and they've worked in big tech. And they're willing to work for less, and they're willing to work in junior roles. That's our competition. But at the same time, there are entirely new roles and job opportunities that are opening up, ones that aren't even being talked about. And they're driven by the rise of AI and automation. So this is not the end of tech, not even close. It's the end of one era and the
Yeah.
beginning of another. And today, I want to explain exactly what changed and how you can take advantage of the new era of tech. So let's get into it. So back in 2020, the world went largely online. People were shopping online more, they were using streaming services, and they were even working from home, and software engineers were at the center of that shift. Demand for digital services exploded as companies rushed to build e-commerce, cloud platforms, remote work tools, and automated systems. So according to job market data, roles like software developer and software engineer saw major growth, with postings up nearly 47%.
Yeah, so apparently during the that boom there was a progress of about 5 to 10 years. That's what they measured as projections.
And tens of thousands of new job listings in the United States alone. The US Bureau of Labor and Statistics projected that software developer roles would grow roughly 17 to 18% through the decade, which is much faster than the average growth for all other occupations. But then, something changed. After years of rapid expansion, hiring slowed significantly, especially for entry-level roles. In 2025, job postings for software developers hit multi-year lows, with some reports showing around 35% fewer listings than during the 2020 boom. Meanwhile, tech layoffs continued.
Layoffs.
YouTube and Meta.
Yeah, okay, but we've seen that most of these AI related layoffs have been backtracked. So either because of the consequences of the AI production takeover was not as good as they made it out to be. So there had to be rehiring, and it was also a tactic to have people be rehired at lower salaries because if let's say there's 10,000 people that have just been laid off and you're one of them, you don't have a job anymore, you get contacted and you know you're not going to think about the salary that you had before. It's not about a salary anymore. It's about having or not having a job. So people that are contacted to come back to work, they will take a pay cut just to get a job back. So I mean, it's pretty insidious what they're doing. It's pretty gross.
Have all announced new rounds of layoffs.
With more than 95,000 tech jobs cut in 2024 and over 126,000 in 2025 in the US alone. But what we're seeing isn't the disappearance of tech. It's a restructure in the industry, or as investors like to call it, a market correction. The explosive hiring of the pandemic was driven by urgent demand for digital transformation. Now, as the economy stabilizes and AI begins to automate many tasks, companies are re-evaluating skills. They're becoming more selective and they're prioritizing more senior, specialized roles over wide-open entry-level pipelines. In other words, the golden era of getting an easy tech job has evolved, not ended. It's shifting towards more opportunities in AI, infrastructure, data, and emerging technical fields, even as these traditional paths start to tighten. Okay, so what does this new era of tech actually look like? Because despite everything you're seeing, there is a silver lining. I promise. The biggest driver of this shift is AI moving from experimental to operational. Companies don't just want models anymore. They want systems that do work. That's why the fastest growing opportunities aren't just coding jobs, but jobs that sit at the intersection between AI, automation, security, and real-world systems. I mean,
Yeah, there's some. If you're able to translate AI models to applications into small and medium businesses, real world applications, there's opportunity there for sure. But the thing is there going to be an implementation to be done at all? ChatGPT, they're discontinuing older models. I mean, I think it's because since they can't secure enough money for their compute, instead of just adding more, they're cutting costs with what they had to reallocate it to like next generation model. But if they're doing that, it's because it's going bad. It's going really bad. They're down bad. So maybe there's opportunity right now, but is it gonna stay? I don't think. I don't think so. I'm not too sure.
look at that robot. That's a nice robot.
Typical.
Whoa. What's that?
I just built a budgeting app in Base 44.
Guys.
Okay, so we still have some work to do, obviously. But we're already seeing demand exploding for roles like AI automation engineers. And they design workflows where AI doesn't just answer questions, but they trigger actions across tools and systems. Think agentic.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the description of just like programming. That's not automation. You're saying that you have input that is received, you have rules, and it takes actions depending on the rules. I mean, where's the automation here?
Workflows. That's a big one nowadays. But even AI security engineers who focus on adversarial attacks, model abuse, data poisoning, and securing AI pipelines. Those were problems that didn't even exist a few years ago. Data quality and dataset auditors.
Well, it did, but I don't think data set auditor. What the fuck?
Their job is to
know.
make sure that the AI models are trained on clean, reliable, and legally compliant data. And even systems and infrastructure engineers, they understand how to deploy AI reliably at scale. So from GPUs to edge devices to orchestration layers that keep everything running smoothly and safely. And the reason this all feels so chaotic right now is because we're in a transition period, people. We're in transition. The demand is real. Companies know that they need these capabilities, but
the demand is not real. That is the issue right now. There's no demand. That's why investors are scared to lend money to the data center building companies. So it's a weird time right now.
Job titles, career paths, and the hiring pipeline, they haven't all caught up yet. Universities aren't teaching this, and boot camps aren't structured for it. Most people are still training for the old version of those jobs, not the ones that are being created right now. That's the biggest problem. And here's the key thing to understand out of all of this. We're not going back to the era where learning basic syntax or frameworks was enough to get hired. In this era, the value comes from understanding systems in their entirety, orchestrating AI with real workflows, securing intelligent software, and bridging the gap between models and production. Coding still matters, but it's no longer the
I mean, if you're talking about security here with anything that is related to AI or LLM models, eh, there's no security. We just saw it. OpenClaw, Moldbook, all that shit. It took a couple of days, and we saw the extent of how bad it got. So even if you try to be secure about it, there are no models secure. There's no secure model.
finish line. It's the foundation or the starting point. So, like I said earlier, most universities and boot camps have not caught up to this new era of tech. Traditional computer science programs still focus heavily on theory, which is valuable, but rarely do they teach how AI systems are actually built, deployed, secured, and maintained, and orchestrated in production.
I don't want to bash too much, but okay, sorry.
And as a result, much of this learning happens on the job or through targeted self-study using industry-backed resources. So if you can't learn all of this on the job because you can't get a job until you learn all these skills, how do you actually learn all of this?
How?
Well, let me tell you. The first step
You gotta grind. You gotta do it on your own, on the side. I don't know. That's not how it used to be. You shouldn't have to do that now to adapt. It's fucked up.
is differentiating
I mean, if you just take into account any of the like manual jobs, right? Plumbing, construction, etc. You had apprenticeship, right? So you had tutelage or mentoring from somebody who had experience, and you were the apprentice, and you had to learn, and then you would get your experience. But this step is just gonna be removed altogether. So maybe it's going to last for a minute, but what's gonna happen after? Because right now they're just counting on people with a lot of experience to exploit these tools. But when all these people with the experience, when they're gone, and you have not had the transition, you don't have the entry level jobs, getting the experience and transitioning, you're just going to have a whole collapse at the same time, because there's only a limited amount of people that are able to produce the output that the AI companies are presenting as possible and accessible to everybody. It's not everybody, it's a tool. If you can't use the tool, you're not going to be able to do something that somebody who knows how to use the tool is going to be able to produce. So even if this is absolutely brilliant, it's not going to be as powerful from one person to another.
between foundational skills versus specialized skills. Foundational skills still matter. That's learning how to code, understanding data structures, understanding system design. Those are all non-negotiable. In fact, those are just the starting point now. Remember how I told you the era of easy tech is gone? Now it's a little bit
But that's the thing, is that we had to translate natural language into something that was going to be able to be interpreted by computers. But they're going to do it the other way around. So they're going to have the computer language be translated so it's in natural language, so people are going to be able to understand. You won't need to fundamentally understand how to code if you don't need to debug it, if it's going to do it on its own. If you can just read a resume of what it does. But the thing is, if that happens, people are going to start being reliant on it. They're going to shift people in a sense of security. They're going to say you don't need to know how to code because it's going to be introduced in natural language. Then all the people that know how to code are going to disappear. Everybody is going to fall back to what it says, but it's going to have hallucination. Unless they change fundamentally how it works, it is going to have hallucinations. And that's going to be the issue, because then people will not be able to tell. You're going to ask it something, it's going to say you, yes, it does this, but that won't be true. Yes, I implemented this, but that won't be true. So freaky times.
More complicated, because the easy way of getting a job is now the first step to getting a job. US Bureau of Labor and Statistics and industry hiring data consistently show that roles involving distributed systems, cloud computing, and back-end engineering still require strong fundamentals. So if you're aiming for AI infrastructure roles, you'll still need to know cloud platforms, networking, scaling systems, and failure modes. Those are concepts that are always covered in your system design class, but now they're just applied to AI scale. So on top of that foundation, specialization is where all the new opportunities are popping up. So pay attention. For example, engineers moving into AI and machine learning often start with Andrew Yang's deep learning AI courses, which can be found on Coursera or just, deep learning. So programs like machine learning specialization, deep learning specialization, and generative AI with large language models, they're widely used by engineers at Google, Amazon, and Meta. These courses, they don't just teach models. They focus on how real-world machine learning systems are trained, evaluated, and deployed. If you're interested in AI automations and agentic workflows, platforms like LangChain, OpenAI, and UiPath are really great resources for that. They're actually becoming the industry standards. Learning how to build agents that call tools, interact with APIs, reason over tasks, and operate inside workflows is increasingly valuable.
Because of the same reason, because of hallucination. What are you going to do when you're okay, well, it's going to manage shipments, so it's going to say that it ships something that it hasn't done. Is fundamentally, because of the way that it works, it is bound to happen. If it's going to happen even once in 1,000 times, once in 1,000,000 times, it is going to happen. It is guaranteed that it's going to happen. So what are you going to do then? You're going to say, okay, so let's say somebody lost their shipment and never received the shipment. We see that the machine said that it was sent to you, so we're not going to refund you. We see in the machine that it said it was sent to you. What are you going to do? What kind of recourses you're going to have then? Like, what the fuck? You're going to get that in every single industry. It is so stupid. So fucking stupid.
UiPath, for example, offers free training through its UiPath Academy, where engineers can learn automation, orchestration, and agent-based workflows hands-on using real tooling. And it's not just theory. Security is another area seeing rapid transformation. That's right. And traditional cybersecurity knowledge is still required. But now companies are hiring people who understand AI-specific threats. So according to research from organizations...
All of them. It's all AI threat. If you have AI, it's a threat. Like, what the fuck? If you have AI, whatever it controls, it's going to receive information. It's going to receive input. In that input, no matter what it is, text, email, phone calls, images, sound, whatever the fuck, okay? There can be embedded commands. There could be uncompiled in like a base 64 executable code. This is undetectable by malware. It's malware filters in like a email. Jesus Christ, I'm sorry. Malware filters like in Office 365 or whatever, and antiviruses as well, because it is not a program, it is not executed, but the model is going to be able to read it, interpret it, however, and take actions. So if it's able to take actions, it is 100% able to be exploited. People that you tell, be careful of the emails that you receive. We put systems in place that analyzes email links, pictures, everything inside of the message, the headers, the email protocols, if they're respected or not. There's so much safeguards in place right now, and you have people that you tell them, be careful, and they fall for it. You're going to tell me that this is going to be infiable? That is stupid.
Like NIST and MITRE, new attack surfaces like prompt injection, data poisoning, and model inversion in relation to AI are becoming major concerns. So courses and certifications that combine security and AI, that's what you want to do. These include cloud security training courses from AWS or Google Cloud, paired with ML fundamentals, are becoming increasingly relevant. For data-focused roles, the emphasis is shifting from just training models to data quality, bias detection, and monitoring. That's 3. Companies are investing heavily in machine learning ops and governance. So courses like ML Ops Specialization on Coursera and industry tools like MLflow, Kubeflow, and data observability platforms are now part of production workflows. And engineers who understand how to audit datasets, monitor model drift, and ensure compliance of the system are in high demand as AI systems move into regulated industries like healthcare and finance. And here's the most important part. You don't need to learn everything all at once. Why am I whispering? The engineers that excel in this era are the ones that combine strong fundamentals with 1 or 2 deep practical specializations. So whether that's AI infrastructure, security, automation, or applied machine learning, the goal isn't chasing every new tool. It's understanding how real systems work end to end. So no, tech isn't dead. Just the easy version of it. The era where learning a single language or grinding a few LeetCode problems and coasting.
Yeah, but honestly, that was already gone. I mean, are you talking about COBOL or assembly? I doubt it.
Into a cushy job is all fading fast. And honestly, that version of tech was never meant to last. What's replacing it is harder, more complex, and honestly, way more interesting. We're entering an era where the most valuable engineers aren't just the ones that can learn how to write code.